Welcome all to another episode of your favorite podcast. Welcome to St. Patrick's Day week.
St. Patty's Day week, huh?
Week.
The whole week.
Yeah. I got
Only
the jerseys,
Tuesday, man.
wearing
Not
the
till
green.
Friday.
Man, it's like an Irish Christmas. Gives me an
Christmas.
excuse to drink more beer. It's great.
Like an Irish Hanukkah because it's longer than one day.
There you go. Anyways, what are you drinking today, Targo?
Dude, I had to scour the fridge for a drink today, so no judgments on my drink, all right?
No judgments here.
It is a sparkling hard tea, hibiscus lime,
Okay.
kissed with pomegranate, is what it says on there. And it's called Loverboy, just to top it off there.
Yeah, it certainly was kissed, let me tell you that.
See how it is. You know, like I said, I had to search. It was in the back. I don't know.
Man.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's not bad.
We'll have to revisit that.
It's not a beer though. It's definitely something.
No.
My wife bought.
It is brewed, but it's not a beer.
No.
So today I'm drinking Coconut Hiwa Porter from Maui Brewing Company.
Hiwa, what's that?
I don't know. Probably something in
Just
Hawaiian.
the name?
Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't know. Anyways, let's give her a taste because I got a lot of it.
Yeah, you do. Put it in a big old mug, huh?
Yeah, size of my head. It's really good. Tastes more like coffee, hint of coconut.
You and
Pretty
them coffee beers, man. Ugh.
It's what keeps me going, man.
Not your good
Anyways.
looks.
Those are our brews. Let's get to some banter. Welcome to Brews and Banter. Targo, this was a busy week.
Holy crap, it was, man. I feel like I was watching 2-3 games a day.
Man,
This
it
week.
was like a full-time job, man.
It close to it, man. That's what it feels like sometimes. Like, oh man, after my third game for the day, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm a little tired of watching soccer.
I need a
now.
nap.
Yeah. Or like go out and actually play some soccer. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah, I gotta move around, stretch my legs. But today we are going to review the games March 6th through 15th, preview Champions League second legs, and Barcelona under investigation again. Man, that
Yeah.
was the news out.
Yeah, that came out this last week, and that's not looking good for Barca, man.
Yeah. But make sure to hear our thoughts on that by following our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Check out our Facebook group, our YouTube page. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And last but not least, check us out on Redbubble. Help us continue doing this. And we got some pretty sweet merch on there, so check it out. First up, in the Champions League second legs, we had on the 7th of March, Club Brugge against Benfica. We called it.
Yeah. Wasn't
This
even
one
close, was it?
5-1 Benfica. It was a rout in Lisbon, I'll be honest. Aggregate ended up 7-1 in Benfica's favor.
Yeah, some nice goals in this one. I mean, do you think Goncalo Ramos stays at Benfica? I think he goes
No.
somewhere big. I think
I
he's
think
gonna be
so.
a big time forward, man. He looks like the real deal.
He does. And it's good. It's good that Darwin Nunez got, out of there so that way he could shine a little bit more, I would say. But he had some fantastic goals in this game.
Yeah, he did.
With the pick of the litter actually coming from Rafa Silva. That
Oh,
first
that
goal.
outside of the foot,
Yeah.
right foot, just curls it into that far post with his right. Yeah, that was beauty.
Yeah, even caught the goalkeeper napping at that one. Next up, we're going to go over to the big talking point of Dortmund and Chelsea.
Oh, man.
This one ended 2-0 in favor of Chelsea, with them getting the aggregate win 2-1. Man.
We did not pick the right team in this one, did we? I think we both picked Dortmund. That first goal, Raheem Sterling gets a little lucky, gets a lucky bounce off of Marco Reus, falls to him, and he has a nice finish. Let's talk about this PK, man.
He
I want to talk
whiffed
about
this shot.
Oh, he completely
Sterling
whiffed.
did.
It was a,
He
go to
whiffed
baseball terms, it was a strike. He missed, hits a standing foot.
Wing bat about it.
Yeah, but definitely luck, I would say, in both goals on that one.
Mhm.
But soccer, there's always a little bit of luck. But the second goal, man, this is one I want to talk to. This PK.
Yeah.
Handball. Havertz steps up to take the PK, bounces off the post, gets cleared. Then it was said that Dortmund players infringed on the line before Havertz kicked the ball, had to be retaken, and then Havertz scores it. So let's start at the beginning, man. Was it a handball?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was. His hand was way away from his body. He's
No, it
turning
wasn't.
away
It
from
was
the
not
ball.
at all away from his body. I mean, it's as a player though, your arms are going to go away from your body when you play to get balance. With the proximity, I don't think it was a handball. I think it was BS. I'll start right there. I don't think it was a handball or a PK.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a PK, but I don't agree with the rest of that scenario. So.
And so then, okay, it was a PK. We'll say it was. And then we get to Havertz taking the PK. He hits it off the post. It comes out. A Dortmund player clears it, but they said he had crossed that 18-yard box before Havertz took it. What really gets me is there's Dortmund players, yes, they infringed, but there's a Chelsea player in front of both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea players, they were in the box before the Dortmund players were. As Kai Havertz is essentially stopping, I know he didn't really stop, otherwise he would have had to retake the penalty, even though he did. But to me, it's more of like these guys are already in the box, but it's not Dortmund players, it's Chelsea players.
It was BS, man. The whole thing I thought was BS. Dortmund, you got hard done. The refs did you dirty.
I agree.
Bellingham came out and said, like, I don't want to comment. I'm tired of getting fined by these guys. Because it was they got done dirty, man.
They did. And, I understand the rule, right? If you encroached, you can't be the first player to touch the ball. But anybody is going to encroach if Havertz stops like that. It's just going to happen.
I wouldn't say he stopped. He definitely slowed down.
I think it's like a full run-up and then stops.
That's how they do it, though. They do those little hops.
But in every other scenario that happens, players encroach. Can't really stop that unless you move the players further back.
I don't think it was a PK to begin with. Honestly, I don't think that handball is given in the Premier League.
I think it is. Just seeing what's been given this year.
Yeah, considering last week when Arsenal played, all those handballs you thought it'd be given. Are you sure you want to retract your statement?
Nope, I'm going to stick by my guns, but I do think that Arsenal were hard done as well, even though they did win the game. So I'm not terribly upset about
it. Okay. But yeah, I feel like Dortmund didn't play well, don't get me wrong.
No. How many times do we have to say it that you can't, if you have a lead in the second leg, you can't try to prevent the other team from scoring if that's your game plan. You have to be able to attack first, not, we have a 1-goal lead, let's keep them from scoring. No, you want to add to that lead, and that's how you win the game.
I don't think that was Dortmund's game plan. I think Chelsea just stifled them enough where they couldn't get anything going. That's where I got to give credit to Chelsea. They stifled Dortmund. They couldn't create nothing. They had a couple kind of breaks, but otherwise Chelsea were in control of that game. Yeah,
they were definitely in control of that game. But I guess the biggest talking point, other than the penalty, is this a sign of things to come from Graham Potter and Chelsea?
Could be. I mean, we'll get to the weekend here, and we'll see how Chelsea did this weekend. But foreshadowing, yeah, they won on the weekend, and so it could be. I kind of had predicted this, and I think Chelsea will go on a good run here, and here they are.
Yeah,
big win in the Champions League.
They've scored more goals in their last 3 games than they had since October.
The past week, they've scored more in the past 3 months.
Yeah,
just about
crazy. So. Next up on the 8th, we had the big game, PSG against Bayern Munich. I'll be honest with you, this wasn't a game at all.
No, your team that you picked to win it, man,
they're out.
They look bad.
Not only did they look bad, but it seemed to me that Mbappe and Messi didn't care.
I could see it from Messi. I don't know about Mbappe.
There were times where the ball would go to the defenders, and he's just walking. There's no pressing. There's no following the ball. This lack of effort was there, and then he would. I mean, I understand why he was angry with some of the through balls. Like the quality was not great. But
I feel like, honestly, you got to give credit to Bayern Munich in that defense, man. They just stifled Mbappe. They didn't let him do nothing. He only had like one or two runs where he kind of got past his defender. Other than that, they didn't give him anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only real chance they had was when De Ligt cleared the ball off the line.
Yeah, and that guy should have scored. I mean, if he doesn't hit it with his purse, hits it a little bit harder, I don't think De Ligt gets there.
No,
but man, that's as good as a goal right there.
But yeah, it just sums up Bayern Munich's defense for the day. They're just everywhere at all times. Just shows that PSG is a group of players that don't play for the club. They play for themselves.
You said it right there. They're not like a team. You know, it is a group of world-class players that have gone and been bought. But I wouldn't say they're a team.
No. I mean, when you have Sergio Ramos as your best attacking threat in the game.
He was off of corners.
You know that there's something wrong there.
I mean, and then the first goal that Bayern Munich scored was off a terrible giveaway from Marco Verratti.
Oh, it was awful.
Right off the top of his 18-yard box. I think it was Müller and Goretzka kind of poked it off of him. And then Goretzka just lays it across to Choupo-Moting for an open goal.
Yeah. I know you don't rate him, but he's got some of the best stats in the world right now through 25 games.
Bro, you or I could have scored that goal. The goalie came out to Goretzka, and unselfishly, he just puts it on a silver platter. But you're not wrong. He's been scoring goals.
So, who knows? I think the best way to sum up this game is to look at the substitutions.
Yeah. I remember watching that game, and you saw the players that came on for PSG versus the ones that came on for Bayern Munich.
Yeah. PSG looked like they were winning 2-0, and they were trying to just shore up the game against Bayern Munich, but it was the other way around. And then Bayern Munich put on Sadio Mane,
Serge Gnabry,
Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané. Like it was a world-class
Who did PSG bring on? Some youngster, Emery?
Yeah, a couple of youngsters, and then a guy who's on loan from Crystal Palace. So, sums it up right there.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, that last goal summed it up. Hard tackle on Verratti, wins the ball, beautiful counterattack. Gnabry, with a nice finish, puts it away.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we had AC Milan against Spurs. This one ended 0-0 with AC Milan going through. And you're right.
You called it, man. You said it was going to be a snooze fest.
Yeah. I mean, Antonio Conte's first game back, he looked like he didn't know like what he was doing. It was weird.
It was.
I hate to reference Ted Lasso, but he looked like Higgins out there.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is, but he looked.
I know.
That game, it looked like Spurs weren't 1-0 behind. Like they looked like, they looked like the other team that were 1-0 up. Like, we can just kind of try to cruise in this game. There was no urgency in the way they played. And it didn't help bad. Romero, man, has 2 terrible tackles.
I don't know what he was thinking for that second.
No. I mean, yeah, it was hilarious because he injures himself. And he's sitting on the sideline, and the ref comes up and shows him the red card. But, yeah, I mean, poor performance from Tottenham. I mean, AC Milan didn't look great either, but they go through with that one goal they scored back at the San Siro in Italy.
Yeah. I mean, the game kind of summed up both teams so far. I
mean, like we've mentioned that AC Milan are like the Tottenham right now of Serie A. Like, which AC Milan team are you going to get? A good one or the one that loses?
The only difference is AC Milan won the title last year. And Tottenham doesn't have any trophies.
Haven't won shit. Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the Europa League. On the 9th of March, we had our first legs. And probably, in my opinion, the pick of the litter, Union Berlin against Union Saint-Gilloise. Man, they're from Belgium, by the way.
Yeah, I had to look them up.
I did too. Union Berlin had to fight from a goal down 3 times in this one. There's some beautiful goals in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it ended 3-3. Boniface takes a shot, kind of gets deflected, goes in, and then what was it? Union Berlin's first was a free kick.
Mm-hmm.
Some bad giveaways by Union Berlin. A rebound off a PK. Great counter-attacking goal. And then, equalizing goal at the end. Can't complain, man.
It was
entertaining.
It was very exciting to watch. Just say that. Next up, we had Sevilla against Fenerbahce. Sevilla winning this one 2-0. Fenerbahce looked like the more dangerous team in the first half, and then in the second half, it was all Los Rojas.
Yeah, Joan Jordan put Sevilla up on the 56 when his deflected shot went into the far corner. And then Eric Lamela, man, from former Tottenham player, gets a goal.
I'll be honest with you, I forgot he was still playing.
Yeah, there's a player down below that's playing in City. Another former Tottenham player that I was like, what? He plays for them? Sampdoria. It's who was it? Juve when they played Sampdoria today?
Yeah.
Or on Sunday. Yeah, I was like, Harry Winks. Okay, I remember him.
Yeah, it's cool to see all these English guys playing in Italy. I'm not used to seeing that.
No.
Next up, we had Juventus against Freiburg. This one ended 1-0 for Juventus. Before this game, however, remember the, what was it, 40-second red card?
Moise Kean?
Moise Kean. After that, apparently Juve has triggered his release clause and paid 28 million euros to Everton for him.
Man, have you ever seen Moise Kean really do anything good?
No.
Like, can I be honest?
He's played for some fantastic teams.
Yeah, I mean, PSG, Juve, Everton. Like, I remember watching him at Everton. He didn't do, obviously didn't do anything because he got shipped out right away. But I remember when they signed him, it was a big deal. Like, the press conference they had, he had his mom there saying, "Oh, I'm so happy to be here, take care of my family, blah, blah, blah." He hasn't done anything, dude. Like, does he play soccer? I'm still waiting to see him play good.
Looks like he plays rugby to me, but I don't know. He just kicks players for fun. But I digress. Let's get back to the actual game. Angel Di Maria continued his hot streak, scoring yet another goal for Juve in the 53rd minute. It was a beautiful header off of an even better cross.
Yeah, it was a nice one. Di Maria keeping his goal-scoring streak going. I think I called this one Juve to get the win, and I expect them to go through on both legs here.
I would too, unless the wheels fall off for some odd reason. But the way they've been playing lately, I don't think so. Next up, we had Bayer Leverkusen against Ferencváros. That's how you pronounce it.
I put where they were from. Did you know they were from Hungary?
Hungary. Yeah, I did. However, I saw it on the flag next to their name while watching the game.
Okay.
That was a dead giveaway. They didn't look very good in this one. Bayer Leverkusen won 2-0.
Yep, Karim Demirbay gets a beautiful finish in the 9th minute. And then Edmund Tapsoba scores a free kick, hits the post, and comes back to him, and he puts it in. And, man, that would have been a spectacular free kick if that would have gone in.
It would have been fantastic. Seemed like there was a lot of those this week. Free kicks off the post.
Tends to happen sometimes.
Right. Next up, we had our beloved Arsenal traveling away to Sporting Lisbon. I'll be honest, Sporting looked like the better team in this one.
Yeah, you called a draw in this game. It's a good call.
Yeah, it ended 2-2. However, Arsenal really didn't look like they got out of maybe second gear. And Sporting looked really good.
Yeah, the first goal, what was it that scored it? William Saliba off a corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he scores the first goal, so Arsenal are up 1-0. And then, honestly, poor defending by Arsenal. I don't know what Matt Turner or Kivior. It was both of them miscommunicating. Something didn't go right there, and Sporting scored off a corner. But they did look really threatening on the attack, Sporting. I will say that.
Yeah.
I feel like they exposed Zinchenko moving into that midfield quite a bit.
They did, overloading that side. I don't think Arsenal deserved a draw on this one, I'll be honest with you.
I feel like they were lucky to get a draw off that own goal.
It's a great result for Arsenal. Not a great result for Sporting having to go to the Emirates next week.
And probably playing better in that game.
Thursday. Yeah. However, the big news in this one is how good did Pedro Goncalves look? And tearing apart the Arsenal midfield and defense.
Yeah, there was can't remember his name for Sporting. Edwards. He was down on their right flank, I think. He looked really good too. Running at Zinchenko, going at him, cutting inside.
Yeah, I mean, he made Zinchenko look like he's average. It was weird.
Honestly, that was kind of an average Arsenal performance. I know they made some changes. No Martin Odegaard was in there. Jakob Kivior got a start, but
Matt Turner was poor. I'll be honest.
He looked
especially
average
his distribution. But for the second leg, Sebastian Coates and
he's suspended.
Yeah, Hidemasa Morita are both suspended for the second leg, which is huge since was it Coates? Is that how you actually say it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's a defender.
He's pretty much their main center back, unfortunately for them. So next up, we had Manchester United against Real Betis. This one ended 4-1 for United. Snowy night in Manchester. Marcus Rashford getting the scoring started in the 6th minute. What a rocket that was. Near post.
He blasted that past that keeper, man. I mean, Ten Hag wanted a response, I'm sure, after that 7-0 thrashing from Liverpool. And, when they went up by 4 goals, I don't know if you watched that game, but Ten Hag puts his hand up and holds a 3. He wanted 3 more.
I didn't see that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he held up a 3 because he wanted 3 more. Get 7 goals since they got beat by 7 goals.
That's fantastic. Anthony probably with the pick of the bunch in this one. Cutting it back to his left. I mean, he's going to do it every single time, but he put it where the spiders lay their eggs, man. Top corner. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Val Veghorst got his name on the score sheet with a tap-in the 83rd to cap off the display. But, yeah, what a fantastic response after that Liverpool game from United.
Yeah, they played well that game. That's for sure.
All right. Over to Rome. AS Roma beat Real Sociedad 2-0. You called this one.
Yeah, the Romans in Rome, man.
Win in Rome.
But, yeah, I did think they would beat Real Sociedad the way Real Sociedad has been playing. They haven't looked the best. Roma looked, I would say, okay in that game. Sociedad had the majority of the possession, especially after Roma got that first goal. Yeah. They scored it pretty early in the 13th. But, yeah, I mean, Tammy Abraham, man, he had a beautiful drop of the shoulder and crosses it for Steven El Shaarawy, and he puts it in. Then it was kind of almost game management mode from that point on for Roma, and then they got a chance in the second half, a header by one of their defenders. He scored it off the corner kick.
87th minute, yeah.
Yeah, so
pretty late on, but I think that pretty much sums up the performance from Sociedad in this one. They have not been playing good lately.
No, they couldn't really get much going on the final third.
Yeah. Next up, we had Shakhtar Donetsk against Feyenoord. This one ended in a draw, 1-1. I know we both picked either squad, and neither one could make us happy. So
I will say I think Feyenoord were the better team, and I do think they'll go through on the next leg.
Yeah, I mean they went behind with one of the Shakhtar defenders essentially scoring off his butt.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I remember he it was a diving header and he missed
went for a diving header, missed the ball, hits him in the butt, and then loops over the goalie.
It was so funny.
You can't make these things up.
That was a crazy one. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's wild.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and it was 100% against the run of play. Feyenoord outshot Shakhtar in this one 21-5 and had to level the game in the 88th minute. With a
After they dominated that game, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I see it going one way and one way only in the next leg, but I digress. Over to England. On the 11th of March, we had probably the shock result of the weekend. Fresh off their 7-0 thrashing of Manchester United, Liverpool traveled to lowly Bournemouth, who were bottom of the table at the time, and lose 1-0.
Dude, this is a weird sport.
It doesn't make any sense.
This is a weird sport.
I don't get it, man. Liverpool thrashed Manchester United, who were flying high all year long. And then they lose to the worst team in the Premier League. I don't get it.
I don't either, man. This is a weird sport. Like I said, I'm almost speechless. Like, what? And it kind of looks like Liverpool got complacent in that game, thinking like, oh, we're just going to Bournemouth. We should have an easy time. And no, they didn't.
They should have known by the Bournemouth game the previous weekend against Arsenal that they're no slouch.
No, they're not. I mean, yeah, Mo Salah misses a PK by a freaking mile, dude.
Yeah,
by a mile.
Rumor has it that ball is still traveling to the moon. Holy cow. Even the Bournemouth fans were chanting, "You Harry Kaned it."
Oh, Mo gosh.
So it begs the question. Yeah, it begs the question, was the Liverpool against Man United or the Liverpool against Bournemouth the real Liverpool?
They're both apparently the real Liverpool.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's Liverpool this season. I mean, what's terrible for Liverpool fans, if they would have won that game, they would have got into a Champions League spot. It would have been in fourth place. Now they're in sixth. So
makes no sense. Speaking of making no sense, we had Everton against Brentford. Everton win this one 1-0. What is going on at the bottom of the table?
So I know you and we both picked Brentford to win. And I will say, I missed
beating Fulham earlier in the week.
They got, it was a beautiful strike, and they got it real early. Like, wasn't it in the
35 seconds? Yeah. Beautiful strike too, from Dwight
McNeil. Yep. I know Damari Gray thought he had doubled the lead, but it was ruled out because he had kind of bounced off his hand.
It almost looked like he did a hand of God, just hit it with his hand.
No, it was more like right here, and it kind of bounced. I mean, he didn't really know much about it, to be fair. Yeah, it was here. It was right in here somewhere.
But, Brentford lose for the first time in 13 games, which was previously the longest unbeaten streak in the Premier League. But what a massive win for Everton. That's their third win under Sean Dyche, all at home, all 1-0.
Man, they're up to 15th place.
Huge win.
But I will say, now, I feel like Crystal Palace, they've kind of gotten drawn into this relegation fight. And they're in 12th place on 27 points. And then Southampton, who are 20th, bottom of the table, have 22. So there's only 5 points separating 12th from 20th.
That's insane. 8 places. It's almost the whole bottom half of the table.
It really is. This is going to be a wild finish. I don't know who to pick to go down. It's tough. It could be literally any one of those teams. If they go on a poor run, Yeah, Leicester, like they're in a poor run.
Yeah, they can't win a game right now. Even though
No,
they look good, they can't win a game. I mean, yeah, you
yeah,
get them, West Ham, and Bournemouth all tied on points. It's almost looking like goal differential is going to really be what makes teams stay up or go down.
yeah. You're
So
not
who
wrong
can
there. I
let in
mean,
the least amount of goals?
this is going to be a wild finish here
Yeah,
for that
it
relegation
is.
spot.
It is, but massive win for Everton, getting closer to safety. Bournemouth with a huge win, taking them off the bottom. Now to 19th place Leeds United against Brighton. I picked Brighton in this one. You picked a draw.
I did pick a draw.
Man. You did. This one ended 2-2. You got this one right.
2-2.
You're on fire, man. On fire.
Yeah, I missed the first two, the Liverpool and the Everton, but from here on out, I did pretty good picking.
Merseyside
results.
did you dirty. But other than that, man, here on out, spoiler alert, Targo got him right. Who was more impressive or disappointing in this one? Was Leeds more impressive or was Brighton more disappointing?
So honestly, when I was watching this game, Brighton, they got the first goal, header from Alexis McAllister, and they looked in control. Like, honestly, watching that game, you didn't know where a goal were going to come from Leeds. Like, you really didn't. And it kind of came out of nothing. Patrick Bamford has a beautiful shot. It takes a deflection and goes past the goalie, and then all of a sudden it's 1-1 at halftime. So then second half, rolls around, and again, Brighton, with a better team, they get a second goal. And so it kind of looked like it was going that way. And then I will say the substitutions for Leeds really helped. Bringing on, what's his name? Ganonto, something like that.
Yeah.
He looked really good when he came on. Weston McKennie came on. And Jack Harrison, man, it took a beautiful finish from him to make it 2-2.
Yeah, what a strike that was. Yeah.
I will say he was at fault for the second goal. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, why he tried to go with the outside of his left foot instead of with his right. I was watching like, what are you doing there, dude? Use your right foot. And of course, he scores that goal with his right foot.
Yeah. So, blessing and a curse that right foot is.
Apparently.
Yeah. Continuing in the relegation battle, Leicester City against Chelsea, and like we said before, spoiler alert, Chelsea scored as many goals in this one as they did their previous two games, which was already more than they had scored the entire month of February. They win this one 3-1. They score again and again. Chilwell with a brilliant volley against his former side, and then he celebrated. I was kind of shocked.
I was too. He celebrated hard too.
Yeah.
He was not holding back.
No. Very disrespectful for his former side, I will say. Leicester missed a glorious opportunity to level the game off a Madison free kick.
Honestly, dude, there should have been another 4 games on this goal.
Yeah.
There's just some poor finishing.
Yeah, and João Felix, disappointing again. He gave the ball away to Patson Daka. Delightful finish.
Oh, beautiful strike.
Kai Havertz was impressive in this one, I will say.
Yep.
Beautiful cushion touch over the goalie for the second for Chelsea.
Kai Havertz got put. Do you see he got that boot to the stomach there? Had some scratches on his chest.
Yeah, he had cleat marks all the way across. That was gnarly.
João Felix got a nasty tackle that borderline red card. Wasn't even looked at for a yellow.
Yeah, that was odd. But because he wasn't given a yellow, it wasn't looked at. So, Mateo Kovacic with a wonderfully improvised finish for the third for Chelsea. I will say that is probably one of my favorite goals of the weekend.
It was like a little scissor kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Leicester didn't do themselves any favors. Wout Faes, second yellow card. Chelsea's first away win since October, which shows you how important it was. Yeah, this game could have had 4 more goals. It's terrible finishing, very back and forth, so it was entertaining at the very least. But yeah, could have been more red cards in this one. Should have been, probably. But moving on.
Good run of games there for Chelsea. 3 wins on the bounce now. 2 in the
on
Prem
the bounce,
and the Champions
which
League.
is huge for their momentum. I will say, watching Mihajlo Mudryk celebrate for an offside goal was quite entertaining.
Oh, dude, he celebrated hard, and like everyone's just watching him, not even doing anything.
Like, the
he
whistle
didn't
went,
realize.
And the flag was up, and he just runs to the corner and celebrates. And everyone's like, "What are you doing, man? They called you offsides."
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyways,
he looked
next
good,
up we
though,
had Tottenham against Nottingham Forest. Tottenham ran out and away with this one, 3-1. Favorite part of this game, Richarlison thought he had his first EPL goal in the 3rd minute, only to have it called back for offsides. Other than the Oliver Skip 40-yard diagonal pass that was brilliant, this is the second time Richarlison has celebrated an offside goal, and the second time he's got a yellow card for taking off his shirt in celebrations.
No, he didn't get a yellow card on this one. He didn't take his shirt off.
Sorry. He has as many yellow cards as he does offside VAR goals. And still has 0 Premier League goals.
Still 0 goals, yeah.
Yeah. In, 27 games?
I don't know.
27 games.
Harry Kane looked good, though. Got a nice header.
He did. He scored 20 goals, 6 years on the bounce. Son got his 99th goal for Spurs.
Yeah, I don't know what Serge Aurier was doing there, man. He just decided to stop playing for a second.
Yeah,
looked terrible
against his former squad that never played him. I don't know.
Yeah, so that wasn't good by Aurier.
But Forest were given a penalty in the 94th minute. Handball by Kulusevski. Andre Ayew stepped up. And man, was this a terrible penalty.
Oh, dude, it was absolutely awful. One of the worst penalties I've ever seen, if I'm being honest.
It was so bad.
It was terrible. Perfect height for the goalie. I mean, he didn't even kick it hard. So, it was real bad.
So, kind of summed up Nottingham Forest day. I'll be honest.
Yeah, didn't look
They're
good at all.
Terrible away from home this season. At home, they have essentially all their points. All 26 of them. Next up, we go over to London with Crystal Palace against Manchester City at Selhurst Park. City winning this one 1-0, but I'll be honest with you. I thought for most of this game, watching how wasteful Manchester City were, that this was going to be another Nottingham Forest where Crystal Palace were going to score late and City was going to draw another one.
Yeah, I know you had texted me saying that, and it kind of had that feel, but honestly, it wasn't the most entertaining game, if I'm being honest with you. Obviously, we know City dominated possession, and they kind of got a lucky call on that PK. Maybe it was. I would say it was a foul. Yeah, it was a soft foul, but it was a foul.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, Holland.
I don't know what Olise was doing on that though.
They got caught on a corner. I mean, let's be honest. They thought, okay, it went out for a corner. Let's take a quick get a little breather. And nope, City took it quick, and Crystal Palace got caught out. And Olise sticks a foot out, gets Gundogan.
Yeah, and Holland gets another one.
He's now 4 away, I think, from Holland for Mo Salah's record.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think you were right on he might beat that.
I think so too. I will say though, he was very wasteful with his chances in this game. He had quite a few quality chances and didn't really hit the target at all. So, other than a penalty, I wouldn't say his form is looking promising. So, not good news for City. On the 12th, staying in London, we go to Craven Cottage where Fulham played Arsenal. And this game was over by halftime. Arsenal winning 3-0.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Arsenal got 3 goals in the first half. had 4. One was disallowed for
A
offside.
foot being offside. Yeah.
Fulham looked real bad.
Fulham didn't look good in the first half. They looked a little bit better, but not great in the second half because Arsenal were cruising. Huge news for the Gunners, though. Gabriel Jesus makes his return from knee surgery, and he's been out since the World Cup. Arteta says that he has to fight his way back into the squad. Do you blame him?
No, he's not going to have to fight his way into the squad, man. Jesus is going to get back in that squad. I mean, he might have to fight, but that fight won't last long.
I mean, with the way that Leandro Trossard's playing, he's been one hell of a steal for a transfer.
I will say he's probably going to be the January signing of the year in the Premier League. For sure.
Yeah.
But I think Jesus gets in that squad, man. What he brings to that team, what he can do on the ball. His pressing, his style of play there I think has been missed by Arsenal.
I do agree. We know Eddie Nketiah is not that type of player. And Leandro Trossard's about, 3/4 of the way there, but not quite the whole finished article that Gabriel Jesus is. This game, though, Leandro Trossard had a hat trick of assists. It's the first time in the history of the Premier League that someone had a hat trick of assists in a first half by an away player. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, interesting stat there. Hat trick of assists, but only from an away player and only in the first half. Okay, I see.
First time that's ever happened. I don't know. I don't make these stats up. It's the brilliant people over at ESPN and NBC. However, he does have 5 assists and a goal in only 9 appearances.
Yeah, I think
This
I saw
also,
he has 7 assists total for the season.
Yeah, those are just in the Premier League.
Yeah.
This was Arteta's 100th win as a manager. From being someone who said Arteta out 12 months ago, I want to apologize, Mikel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please stay forever.
I mean, it's hard not to want him out after you saw their complete collapse at the end of last season. I mean, they had 4th place in their sights, and again, like I said, they collapsed, missed out on Champions League.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Or I should probably ask you this question. Would you rather have a league title after last year's performances, or would you have rather gone into the Champions League last year and played this year?
Why can't I have both? Why couldn't they have made it into the Champions League? I mean, they should have if it wasn't for some terrible losses to Spurs and Newcastle.
They were awful losses at the end of the season, but I just, if it means winning the title this year, everything is forgiven for me. I don't care.
I mean, he's obviously trying to create like a Man City atmosphere where they're serial winners. I mean, and that's what serial winners do.
The only difference, though, is fans. Like, the energy around Arsenal right now is just so magnetic. It's the fans, the players, the coaching staff, everybody.
I mean, it's great for Arsenal fans. I'm sure if you're not an Arsenal fan, you're not too happy about it. I know I've been seeing a lot of stuff where people don't want Arsenal win. They'd rather have Man City win for the 3rd time in a row.
I mean, it's essentially 2 factions of people, right? You have everyone who hates Manchester City, and then everybody else who, is from London or loves the London team.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe from that small portion of North London. And probably the red side of Manchester.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a very fun title race. I will say that. And this one will go down to the wire. Next up, Manchester United against Southampton. This one ended 0-0. Southampton probably should have had the win in this one.
Depending on just kind of the way the game went, Casemiro gets a red card. When he got in the 34th, so pretty early in the game. It was initially a yellow. We went and looked at VAR. Determined no, it was a red. What do you think? Do you think it was a red card?
I think it's a little harsh, but yeah.
I think it was too. His foot was real high.
I mean, he goes over the ball, studs up.
He got the ball, to be fair to him, but his foot was high.
Yeah,
and he caught the player.
Mm-hmm. I think if his studs aren't showing, like he points his toe a little bit more, then it's not. But
he kind of came in from the side, though. So I mean, what do you do there? I mean,
I feel bad for him. You could see how much it meant getting sent off like that.
Yeah, because
it's only his second straight red in his career, and both of them came for him playing for United, not Real Madrid.
Because it's his second red card, he now misses 4 games.
Yeah, which might become pivotal for their next 4 games, their run-in. This puts them 16 points behind Arsenal. Their title hopes essentially are gone. I would completely rule them out at this point, personally.
Well, they were gone last weekend.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I will say Man United got hard done. I feel like they should have had a PK in that game off a handball from one of the Southampton defenders. Ball kind of came in. The defender kind of slipped, and it hits his hand. And they determined because he was putting his hand out to catch himself, that's why they didn't give it a PK. But like he moved his hand out of the way.
That is the 3rd time that rule has happened this season. And I don't think I agree with any of them.
I mean, there's some of them I can understand, but this one, he was trying to move his arm out of the way and the ball hit it. So, I mean, obviously he wasn't holding himself with that arm.
Yeah. Big point for Southampton, though.
Huge point for Southampton, even though they're, still bottom of the table. Keeps them still within shouting distance.
Yeah, I mean, they're 1 win away from being out, essentially. 2 points away from safety. I guess they would.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. So in 18th place, you have Bournemouth, who have 24 points. But then in 16th, you have Leicester, who also have 24 points. So, I mean, 16th, 17th, and 18th place all have 24 points.
It's goal differential, right?
It's going to go off goal differential, yeah.
And Bournemouth having by far the worst, with negative 26.
Well, I mean, didn't Liverpool thrash them 9-something this season?
9-0.
Beginning of the season, yeah.
Yeah. And then
they got revenge this week, though.
They did. Next up, West Ham versus Aston Villa. This one ending in a draw. And guess what? Targo called it again.
I did. Ollie Watkins put him ahead, kind of
you
against
can
the
hear
run
the
of play.
excitement in my voice.
This is a great week of picks for me, man, in the Premier League.
Did you buy a lottery ticket yet?
No.
You should pick the numbers. Don't just buy a normal one.
But yeah, 1-1. Ollie Watkins put him up first, kind of against the run of play. And then West Ham got a PK. Leon Bailey conceded. I would call it a soft penalty. I think it was on Paqueta. But Said Ben Rama smashes it in. 1-1.
That's all she wrote. Next up, we had Newcastle against Wolves. Newcastle running out 2-1 winners in this one. Alexander Isak getting on the score sheet first. Good news for him because he's been in a bit of a drought lately.
He hasn't been starting, though. He finally got the start in this game, and I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got potential. It's just, can he put in the goals that Newcastle desperately need? Substitution or sub Hee-Chan Wang for Wolves leveled it in the 70th minute. I know I laughed a little bit at Trippier when I saw him.
He tries to clear the ball and he kind of slips, and the ball kind of just lands right in front of Wang, and he just has an empty net to put it in.
Yeah. I feel bad because I laughed at him, but whatever.
You don't feel that bad, do you? Former Tottenham player.
Not at all. But I do feel a little bit. It's like that much. Almiron getting the winner in the 79th minute with a deflected shot going past Jose Sa. Pretty good performance from Almiron. We've been missing that for a while.
Yeah, he didn't start this game either. He came on as a sub.
Yeah, so a point to prove when you got to sit on the bench.
Yeah, that's true.
So, good management there by Eddie Howe. making some tough calls. Huge points for Newcastle as they go back up to 5th, ahead of Liverpool with a game in hand.
All right. Good job for them.
All right. So on the 15th, we have 2 games midweek for the Premier League. Brighton against Crystal Palace is the first one. How do you see this going?
It's at the Amex. I'm going to go with Brighton.
It's a good call. I'm going to go with the draw. Just because that's Crystal Palace for you. Next up, we have Southampton against Brentford. Brentford away again against a bottom-of-the-table squad. Do you think they draw this one again or lose?
Brentford or Southampton?
Either one, I guess.
I think Southampton. I'm gonna go bold. I think Southampton get the win.
Ooh,
At St. Mary's Stadium.
That is a bold call. I am gonna go boring, and I'm gonna pick a draw on this one.
I want
think Southampton with the momentum. Brentford are just so good going forward.
I mean, let me put it this way: Southampton have only lost 2 games in their last 5.
That's true. And Brentford have only lost 1 in their last 14.
Sticking by it, man. Like I said, this is a weird sport.
It is a weird sport. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore. I don't get it. So I'll go with the draw. All right, next up, let's fly over to Germany, where we saw leaders Bayern Munich thrash Augsburg 5-3 in this one. Having to come back from a goal down. 2 minutes in, Augsburg with the goal.
Yeah. They poked the bear, and the bear unleashed.
The bear thrashed back, yeah.
Yeah.
João Cancelo getting his first for Bayern, and then Benjamin Pavard, the second one of 2 goals that he scored, recreating the Bundesliga logo. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, the kind of scissor kick looking.
Mm-hmm. And Leroy Sané capped the 4 goals before the half. And yeah, Augsburg won the second half, I guess. 2-1, ending 5-3. But there's really only one team that was going to win this one. My favorite thing was the admin for Augsburg's Twitter profile.
Oh yeah, they scored more goals against Bayern Munich than PSG.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing, and I laughed so hard at it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Next up, we had Frankfurt against Stuttgart. This one was 1-1. I'll be honest with you, it was pretty boring.
Was it? I didn't watch this game.
Yeah. I mean, Sebastian Rode put Frankfurt ahead in the 55th minute. It was a snooze fest in the first half. And then Katompa Mvumpa, 75th minute, equalized. That was it. Those are pretty much 2 of the only chances in the game. It was boring. Next up, we had RB Leipzig against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Leipzig winning 3-0 in this one.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a snooze fest of a first half. And the second half, Leipzig came alive, man.
Yeah,
Timo
the
Werner.
first one was bad giveaway.
Yeah.
Timo Werner smashing it into the top corner.
He roofed that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Gladbach had a pen saved off a poor shot. Forsberg gets the second, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way with a penalty. And then Gavardiol makes it 3 in the 80th. That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. The big headlines here in the Bundesliga this weekend will be the next game, which was Schalke against Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund coming off their first loss of the calendar year. They draw this one 2-2.
Yeah, poor result for Dortmund, man, because Schalke, they were bottom of the table. Now they're second from bottom.
Yeah.
And now Bayern Munich, they're first place, all by themselves up there. So poor result for Dortmund, man.
Yeah. Poor result for them. Yeah. I think it was a deserved result after watching this game. They just didn't play very well.
No, they didn't.
Next up on the 12th, we had Wolfsburg against Union Berlin. This one drew 1-1. Union Berlin now winless in 4. And Freiburg tying them on points now. Only better on goal differential, sitting in 4th.
Man, you're a Union Berlin team. I know you're kind of hot on them. Wanted to see them do good. They're starting to slide down that Bundesliga table a little.
A little bit, yeah. I'll be honest with you, they probably deserve to get a win in this one, but Wolfsburg leveled it late. Watching Patrick Wimmer score on essentially a deflection, and it rolled. No, it trickled into the net.
Don't you hate those when you're a goalie? You're going one way, you see the shot, and it just takes that little deflection.
And then all you can do is stand there and watch it.
Yeah, you just looking over your shoulder like, oh, fuck. Like I picture the scene from The Sandlot.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Or not Sandlot. I think it's from A Christmas Story.
Yes.
That's what it is.
But anyways, Union Berlin, winless in 4. Big story there. Not doing too hot. Leipzig now goes above them into 3rd place on 45 points. They drop to 4th. Let's fly over to La Liga and Targo. What do we have in action?
So on the 11th, man, we had Real Madrid against Espanyol. This was a pretty entertaining game. Jolesu gets Espanyol underway in the 8th off a difficult finish to put him 1-0 up. But Real Madrid made the comeback. They end up winning 3-1. Vini Jr. gets a goal in the 22nd minute. Cutting in from the right, man, slotting it far corner. Fantastic individual skill by him. Kind of what you expect, right?
Yeah. He's one of the most informed wingers in the world. And at this point, probably should be considered one of the best wingers in the world. So you kind of expect it from him.
And then Eder Militao gets a header in the 39th to make it 2. And then Federico Valverde hit the crossbar off a beautiful free kick. But in the 90th plus stoppage, Milan get a counterattack. Out of all players, Real Madrid's central defender Nacho, man, makes a huge dribbling run through the middle of the field. Kind of cuts in from the wing, goes through the middle of the field. Passes it to Asensio, who then can finish it off.
Yeah, much needed victory for Madrid in this one.
Oh, much needed. But I will say Barca, man, they're 9 points ahead still from Real Madrid. Real Madrid in 2nd, 9 points behind Barca. So we'll see if they can catch them. I don't know if they can.
We'll see. It's not looking promising. Let's just say that.
No, it's not. And then on the 12th, we had Athletic Club against Barcelona. And kind of deja vu from last week. Sergio Busquets to Rafinha for a goal. Barcelona win 1-0. I will say, Athletic Club, man, they got hurt on this one. So I thought they leveled. I think it was the 80-something minute.
Yeah.
I think it was Inaki Williams puts in a goal, and then VAR goes back and brings it back for a handball from in build-up in the play. Was it even his arm? It was like
I know what you're gonna ask, and no, it's not a handball.
It was low shoulder, I would say.
That is by the law not considered a handball.
It was. I would say it was on his jersey.
Yeah,
where the ball hit on his sleeve, and so kind of some controversy after Barcelona over having controversy with some refereeing decisions, which we'll get into at some point here, maybe on our TikTok, Instagram, Brews and Banter FC. Make sure to check that out.
Insert plug here.
Yeah, you like how I did that?
Yeah, I did.
But
it raises a lot of questions. I feel
like that was a rough call for Athletic.
100%.
Because now that keeps them in 9th place. I mean, if they would have got a point there, I could have bumped them up.
Yeah, they would have been above Osasuna on goal difference. So,
and then obviously, Real Madrid aren't 9 points behind; they're only 7 points, which that's a big difference.
It is a huge difference. Yeah, you're thinking, 3 games. You're 9 points, you're 3 games behind and still level, and possibly behind them on goal difference. 7, 3 wins, and you're ahead of them by 2 points. So, yeah, Athletic have to be feeling hard done by that one.
I know I would.
Me too. Next up in Serie A, on the 10th of March, surprise result. Spezia beating Inter 2-1.
Man, I don't know what to make of these Serie A games. I really don't.
I don't either. I do know that Napoli is going to win the title.
Yeah. Who's going to be second, third,
Who's going to be second,
fifth?
third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and on and on? I have no idea. Because at this point, it could be Juventus getting second place. I don't know.
It's like
Just
Inter
saying.
wins, and then they lose, and then they win, and then they lose. They just
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's other than Daniel Maldini, son of Paolo Maldini.
AC
Who's
Milan
on loan
legend
from AC
defender.
Milan, scored against his bitter rivals in the 55th minute to put them ahead. That's really all I have for this game.
Yeah, I mean, Lautaro Martinez had a pen saved. Lukaku scored a pen, which was kind of interesting. It's like, why didn't he take the first one? Because he was on the field.
I don't know, man. Again, like you said, none of this makes sense to me.
And yeah, Lautaro Martinez, man. I know people were really high on him. Maybe it was a year or two ago.
For the last 2 or 3 years, yeah.
I don't see it.
Not anymore.
He's
I think that the World Cup kind of did a dirty on him. So,
I mean, he misses too many open chances that he should be scoring. For me,
yeah.
But let's
Speaking
move on.
of eventual champions, Napoli beat Atalanta 2-0. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia put Napoli in the lead in the 60th minute. What a brilliant goal it was.
Solo goal, man. Sitting defenders down, cutting left, cutting right. They didn't know which way he was going.
That he beat 8 defenders.
It was at least 4. I don't know. I remember watching it like, damn.
Yeah. He gets my vote for signing of the season, by the way, for 10 mil. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, Napoli dominated the game. Atalanta's first shot on target didn't come until the 73rd minute.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Biggest news, Napoli are 18 points clear now. I was trying to do the math on the magic number of games they needed left, but it was a lot. Pretty much win half their games remaining and they're champions.
Yeah, I called this one a while ago.
You did. Pretty much at the new year.
Yeah, I think I did.
So,
Christmas.
Speaking of a while ago. On the 12th, we had AS Roma against Sassuolo. Speaking of not making sense, win in Rome, apparently you don't make sense because they lose this one 4-3.
Yeah, this one was a rough one for Roma against Sassuolo. They went down 2 goals. Armen Loriente got a couple. And then Roma got a goal back in the 26th. It's kind of a funny one. He had a volley that he kind of kicks into the ground and then it loops over the goalkeeper and he's just like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? That went in?
What the?
And then, dude, Maras Kumbula, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
He gets in a tangle with Domenico Baratti. Baratti's kind of, flailing a leg a little, and he didn't like that, and he kicked him.
Moise Keane? Is that you?
Yeah. It looks like he tried to kick him in the nuts, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
And so he got a straight red card, and there you go.
Clearly.
But yeah, and then Domenico Baratti, because that was in the box, they gave a PK and a red card, and he scores the PK. But man, Paulo Dybala had a golazo in that game.
He's had quite a few lately. Shows his quality yet again.
It was a beaut. And then Sassuolo made it, scored their 4th. Just a little Guy gets put through on goal. Nice little chip over the goalie. And then Wijnaldum gets one in stoppage time, and that's how that ended.
First ever win for Sassuolo in Rome.
Yeah, huge win for them.
Huge win. Speaking of big wins, after that Roma loss, Juventus beat Sampdoria 4-2. This win takes Juventus to 7th, 4 points behind Atalanta. Imagine the season that would have been, Targo.
Well, they'd be in second place.
Didn't get caught cheating again.
Because they were deducted how many points? 15?
15. And they'd still be...
They'd be 3 points clear in second.
Yeah, they'd be at 53 points.
Napoli would only be 15 points ahead instead of 18.
Just shows you how impressive Napoli has been this season.
Yeah, man, they're too good.
They're too good.
I can't wait to see him in the Champions League, man. I want to see him play a Man City, a Bayern Munich.
That would be so entertaining.
Oh.
I hope they don't play Bayern Munich because I want to see that as like a final, like a one-off, one-game final.
The only team I hope they don't get is Benfica.
Yes,
I want to see him play a tough team, like even a Chelsea.
Well, I also want to see Benfica play a tough team. So Benfica Chelsea, that would be entertaining. Big storyline with Enzo Fernandez there.
Oh yeah, making his return.
Yeah, and then Napoli, Manchester City. Yeah, Napoli. Yeah, I guess Bayern Munich, Real Madrid.
Inter Milan. I don't want to see him play Inter.
I would love to see Napoli play Real Madrid. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, you said before, and I'll say it again, I didn't know Harry Winks played for Sampdoria.
Yeah. When I was watching, I was like, what? I recognize that name.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a fall from grace, but, Sampdoria is sitting last place in Serie A. Coming from Tottenham. Either way, you're not going to win a trophy. Anyways, over to France in Ligue 1. On the 10th, we had Lille against Lyon. This one was exciting 3-3 draw.
Yeah, you called the draw on this, though.
Huh? I did.
You called the draw.
I did. I also called Jonathan David goal. I did not call a hat trick, which is what he got. Becoming the all-time leading goal scorer for Lille, passing Eden Hazard, which I don't know if that's impressive for Jonathan David or kind of sad for Lille because Eden Hazard hasn't played for Lille in years.
That's
Probably
crazy.
A decade.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But this game was crazy, man. I mean, all the 6 goals were all in the second half.
Yeah. Former Arsenal player Alexander Lacazette with quite a sequence of events in that second half.
Yeah, gives away a penalty, scores 2 goals.
Yeah.
His penalty, it was terrible, too, because he was in the wall. And he jumps, and he totally just kind of does one of those, and it hits his arm. I was like, what are you doing, bro? Took that arm back down. Come on now.
Yeah. But retribution for him, getting 2 goals in the 83rd and 89th minutes. On as a sub, a header, and a brilliant finish where the Spiders makes its webs.
Yeah, I say where a spider makes its web, not lays in its egg.
I like where my grandma hangs her clothes, but whatever.
I don't get, because the spider lays its egg in the corner. I get it makes its web there, but I don't get the egg thing.
It makes its the furthest point away from the front of the web in the corner.
No, that's not a thing.
I'm just making shit up, man. To make it make sense. Anyways.
So you agree it doesn't make sense.
You're right. On the 11th, we had PSG against Brest. 2-1 this one ended in favor of the Parisians. And who else? 90th minute, Lionel Messi assists Kylian Mbappe. I feel like they don't have to show up for an entire game except for 2 minutes at a time, and they would still win the league.
Honestly, man, I felt bad for Brest. I thought they were going to get the draw in this one.
I did too.
Because, obviously, PSG dominated that game. They got their goal, though, to tie it up. And then at the death, 90th minute, man.
Who else?
Beats that offside trap. Gets put one-on-one with the goalie, goes around the goalie, and slots it home.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Next, let's jump over to something that PSG is not in anymore. The Champions League. We have the rest of the second legs. Today, we have FC Porto against Inter Milan. Inter's up 1-0 in this one. I believe this one's at the San Siro. How do you see this one going?
I don't know, man. What Inter Milan team's going to show up?
Fair.
The one that loses to Spezia and Bologna, or the one that beats AC Milan? And
yeah, I don't know. This is at the Estadio do Dragão in.
So Porto. It's in Portugal. So
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I still want to give it to Inter. They're still up a goal. I do feel like they have the better players. So I'm going to say Inter Milan.
I'm going to go with Porto in this one. After seeing Inter's result and performance against Spezia, Porto at home is a whole nother animal. And I can't imagine them rolling over and Inter winning this one easily.
Oh, no. I mean, it's only one goal.
Yeah, one goal.
No.
I feel like Porto
have
the potential to score multiple in this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it to Porto in this one. I think they'll come from behind and win it. Next up, Manchester City against RB Leipzig. To be honest, this will be the one that we're watching. This one's 1-1, but this is at the Etihad. How do you see it going?
Man City, man. I picked them to win it.
Guess you have to, huh? I'm going to go with this one's going to be a draw, and then extra time, and then penalty kicks.
Because, there's no away goals this year.
Yep. And then because of that, Manchester City wins. I want Leipzig to win. I just
Thank you for that long, drawn-out Man City wins.
You're welcome. I'll be here all day. On the 15th, we have Napoli against Frankfurt. Napoli are up 2-0. They're at home. I'm not even going to ask you who you think you're going to win this one because it's going to go one way and one way only. Napoli for the win. And I think this will be more of like the Benfica Club Brews result.
Yeah, personally. Especially without Kolo Muani. He's suspended for that game.
Mm-hmm. Huge loss for Frankfurt. And then the big game, Liverpool and Real Madrid. Madrid up 5-2 in this one. Is Liverpool going to act like a goldfish and get over that loss to Bournemouth on the weekend? I don't know. I don't think so. It's 3 goals, man. In Madrid. Against Madrid.
Yeah, they scored 7 against United, but...
That's at Anfield.
Was it Anfield?
Fly to Spain. I don't think they can win by 4 goals to overturn this deficit.
Madrid scoring? No. I gotta go with Madrid as well.
So, which begs the question, because these teams are both considered so good, I'm doing the air quotes because of Liverpool, not because of Real Madrid. We wanted to do a combined 11. So, Targo, who gets into yours?
All right, so for my goalkeeper, my combined 11 for Liverpool Real Madrid. My goalkeeper is Thibaut Courtois. I went in with him as my goalie. For the right back, believe it or not, I went with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Wasn't sure with him or Danny Carvajal. Maybe a few years ago, I probably would have Danny Carvajal, but I went with Trent Alexander-Arnold. For my center backs, I went with Eder Militao and Virgil van Dijk.
I mean, it's hard to look past Militao with the form he's been in this season.
I almost didn't want to put Van Dijk in, put in Rudiger. I kind of almost put Van Dijk in, almost off his previous seasons, his reputation.
Fair.
If I'm being honest.
Fair. He does get that a lot.
Especially this season, yeah.
Yeah.
For left back, honestly, who's the left back for Real Madrid? They have a midfielder playing left back. David Alaba, I guess, maybe. Ferland Mendy.
Yeah, Ferland Mendy. If he's healthy.
I went with Andrew Robertson, man.
You can't look past him. He's Liverpool's best player.
So I went with that. That's my back four: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Eder Militao, Virgil van Dijk, Andrew Robertson. For my midfield, I have three in the midfield. In the center, I have, I don't know how you pronounce this.
Tushimeni?
Yeah, how do you pronounce his first name?
Aurelien?
Something like that. So in midfield, I have
Aurelien, if
Aurelien.
you're French.
I have in the midfield Tushimeni, Luka Modric, Federico Valverde, and all Real Madrid midfield. Because that Liverpool midfield's Garbo.
I feel like it's like in this, it's who do you pick for Madrid's midfield?
Yeah, Tony Cruz.
You go anyways.
Camavinga. Yeah, I don't.
Kroos. I'm just saying.
So I went with that as my midfield. Up top, on the right, three up top. On the right, I have Mo Salah. Went with a controversial pick. Darwin Nunez in the middle, and Vinny Jr. on the left.
I feel like I don't understand how you can leave Karim Benzema off of your 11. I don't understand it.
I will tell you why. You want me to tell you?
Why?
Darwin Nunez has more goals in the Champions League this year than Karim Benzema.
Fair.
That's why.
He complains a lot less than Karim Benzema does too.
And I just like the type of player Nunez is. I feel like he's a more willing runner than Karim Benzema.
He's got that youthful energy, right? Benzema.
He does.
But I just, for the sake of Karim Benzema coming after you and arguing with you, I'm going to argue for him. So.
Okay. But who are your combined 11? Liverpool, Real Madrid.
Well, at goalkeeper, I had to go with the goalkeeper of the year, but not goalkeeper of the year, and Thibaut Courtois being in the FIFA 11 of the year.
But not winning best goalkeeper yet.
I don't understand that, but it's FIFA. They do whatever they want. Right back, I went with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like you said, if this was Carvajal 5 years ago, I probably would have picked him. Alexander-Arnold offers a lot more going forward. Carvajal probably offers a little bit more defensively, but Alexander-Arnold for me is just a better player right now. Center backs, I went with Virgil van Dijk, and a lot like you, I think it's more about reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with Antonio Rudiger as my other center back. Arguably, out of both teams, probably the best center back form-wise, but you could also argue for Eder Militao. They're both been fantastic this season.
Militao scored on the weekend, just saying.
Yeah, there you go. He's had quite a few goals lately.
Also scored a pretty gnarly own goal against Barcelona, but
fair.
We don't talk about that.
Well, we don't talk about that. And left back, Andy Robertson, hands down.
Okay.
In my opinion, is, if not the best left back in the world, top 3 easily.
I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's good. Yeah,
he's very good. I went with 3 in the middle. I went with Luka Modric, Federico Valverde, and then I went with Eduardo Camavinga. I don't know why. I've always had a soft spot for him because of how enormous his potential is. I mean, the kid is still younger than Tushimeni, and he's been playing for Madrid for, what is it, going on his 3rd year now?
I think this is his second.
Anyways, he's a phenom.
Definitely,
and
yeah.
I love watching him as more of a defensive midfielder.
Well, he's been playing left back for him, so
yeah,
definitely
you
fantastic.
Most
defender.
defensive midfielders could probably, I mean, in the case of like Granit Xhaka, play left back, just because it's similar, or outside back.
Rodri will play center deep.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not going to mention Bernardo Silva out there because it didn't work very well. But. And then I went with 3 up top. Just like you, right wing, I went Mo Salah. Left wing, I went Vinny Jr. I went Karim Benzema as my striker. The man just scores goals for fun. He's amazing. Yes, he is getting old. I understand he has less goals than Darwin Nunez this season.
Only in the Champions League. In
In
La
the
Liga
Champions League.
versus Prem, I will say Benzema has more.
Yes. I will give it to Nunes, though. He's had way more chances to score. But Benzema makes goals out of nothing. I don't see that from Darwin Nunes. So
He's got
that
the
is
man
my
bun.
Combined 11.
The man bun. Scoring goals off that against Man United.
There you go. So that's all I got for today, Targo.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, man.
Good. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Make sure you guys check out our socials. I think we'll be posting some content up there. Some of the refereeing stuff going on with Barcelona, so make sure you keep an eye open for that. We'll probably have that on what? What do you think? TikTok, Instagram, maybe both. So you'll have to...
Maybe YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to like it all. At Brews and Banter FC. Make sure you join our Facebook group. You guys need to be more active on that, man. We want to get the conversations going. Get some arguments on there. It's fun. We want to hear your
listening right now. I want you to literally post the most controversial opinion you have in the world of football. Let's hear them.
Yes.
I can't wait.
We also have some new merch coming out. We had our poll ended here last week. So we'll be putting out the new merch that we're going to do.
Yeah.
For that on Redbubble. Arguably. But other than that, that's all I got, man. Thank you very much for listening. We love you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.